we're live. Hi, long-haired, skinny-eyed toe. Every time I say it, I want to say it in like a southern accent. I don't know why. I just want to be like, long-haired, skinny-eyed toe. What's up? Like, I'm not making fun of you. It's just, I don't know. I'm weird. But give it just a moment and just a couple secs. See if anyone else joins, and then we shall carry on. So today, for those watching back, we have Jennifer. Do you prefer to be called Jennifer or Jen?
It doesn't matter either way.
Either way.
I call myself Jenny Moons. So
Jenny Moons.
It was actually a nickname that was given to me by a friend. So
I like it. All right. Well, I guess we will go ahead and get started because I don't want to wait too long because the majority of my audience watches back a lot. So I'm ready if you are, doll.
Let's go.
Number one, can you tell me about your channel, Soul Moon Rising Tarot, was it? If I remember.
Soul Moons with an S, Soul Moons Rising Tarot and Soul Moons Rising. So I have two channels, and then recently I created a shorts channel just for fun. I just kind of put little clips of tarot stuff on there. But my tarot channel is obviously about tarot. So I do focus more on spirit messages as well as shadow hunting is what I like to call it. So finding your shadows and giving advice on how to progress and get over said shadows.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't do love questions. I pay for love questions if they want one. That's the only way I will do a love question, because that's just not me. It's not my forte. There's so many good readers on YouTube that do love questions that I don't need to be another one of them. So I like to keep with my strengths. The spirits have things to say. They need somebody to help express it for some people that don't understand what they're trying to say. Because let's face it, all of us have had spirit guides yelling at us and we had no idea what they were trying to tell us.
True,
and I get to put it in English for them, basically. So that's my tarot channel. On my regular channel, Soul Moons Rising, it's currently, I'm not really doing anything because it's going through a transition. I will be transitioning to doing interviews and stories about energy healing. So all different modalities. I'm going to have both healers as well as people that have gone through the healings doing interviews, live interviews like this. And then hopefully having recorded stories of the healings and everything like that. So that's the new plan for that channel. It's hopefully starting this summer, but there's still good content on there. Information about the chakras. There's information about meditation, all kinds of stuff still. So
yeah, I took a peek. It is interesting and it does stand out, you know. Uh-oh. Oh, and hi, Lady Blind Wolf. Come back.
There we are.
Oh. Hi.
So yeah, it was I cringe when I watch the videos, but it's still good content. There's still good information there.
Yeah.
I have to remake some of the videos because yeah, my room has totally changed since I made those, and most of them I actually did when I had an office space away from my home. So.
And are there any other platforms you use, or do you have any websites you want to share? Or
I'm basically all the places. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. You can find me everywhere as Soul Moons Rising. I'm also have a Jenny Moons, this one, Instagram profile as well. Not as active. That's going to be more for my crafting stuff. And then I also have a website, soulmoonsrising.com.
Nice. I
So I
like
just
that.
recently launched that.
Awesome. I like where you're like, I'm on all the places. I
Yeah,
like that. It's
all the
like, I
places.
got eyes everywhere. Your zodiac signs, your sun, moon, and rising, do you know them?
Absolutely. So I am an Aries Pisces cusp, heavy on the Aries side, Cancer moon, and Sagittarius rising. So I am fire and water.
Wow. I could see that though. Even when I watched you in a previous interview, I was like, oh yeah, I see it.
Basically, I'm just really superheated water.
Love that. Love it. um, can you try to describe your path or main focus on things you practice in your path?
Um, really, my main focus is all about healing and helping others heal. Um, I am the shadow hunting light worker. So I work in the shadows, but at the same time, I am the light worker. So I bring the light into the shadows to help people heal from traumas of their past. And so I do that in my own personal life because I have issues as well. I'm not immune from them. So yeah, that's I mean, really what I do. Everything is focused on healing and protection and stuff like that. So self-love.
Awesome. I may get up with you and see about these. um, have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
All the time. So my grandfather passed almost 3 years ago in July. It'll be 3 years in July. He comes frequently. In fact, I have this candle. It's a woodwick candle. Hey, Summer, if I burn this candle, Grandpa will actually play with the smoke and the flames. And so he'll make them dance, or he'll make like smoke signals. He'll play and make different spirals and circles and stuff in the candles while I'm live streaming. So it's like he just wants to say hi to everybody. Also, my grandfather, he loves to play, loves it. And so the kids will put on like their Xbox Connect because we're old school and we don't upgrade stuff.
That's the only Xbox I liked, though, was the
Right?
360 and the Kinect.
That's what we got is the 360 with the Kinect. And so they have dance games. Well, one of their dance games has a random feature on it. And it'll look like somebody's hand is moving when nobody's there, and it'll go and select a different song
Oh,
for
that's
them to
awesome.
dance to. It's totally great.
Dance Central or Just Dance. Yeah, I used to
I think it's a Just Dance. And then, so my step grandmother, my stepdad's mom, she was the first one to welcome me into their family because I was 4 years old when him and my mom got together. She is actually my guardian angel. And now she's transferred over to protecting the kids. So she comes, I'll see her out of the corner of my eye. She'll just go from room to room, checking on everybody. And it's like, hi, Grandma. You just know when she's there. She goes for car rides with me. Um, when I was little, we had a ghost living in our house. Old man had died in the house. Nothing tragic or anything. He was just there. He'd watch TV in the middle of the night, or he'd turn on the radio or whatever. So it was never ever a big deal that he was there. I never saw, but I felt. So yeah.
Well, is that something you kind of like experienced from a young age? Was like sensing spirits, or would you
Yes.
say?
I
Yeah.
think especially animal spirits. I'm very drawn to animal spirits. I've had animals come to me after they've passed, and I've actually helped them cross over. That's part of my Reiki gifts is I can help cross over. Um, I've only had a couple humans do that, and they were family members. So I think they just came to say goodbye and let me walk them to the door kind of thing. But yeah. So mostly animals, but I have always seen, as long as I can remember, seen or felt spirits.
Same. Wow. I know what that's like. No, thank you for sharing that. I love taking others' experiences. I really thought about death a lot lately. I mean, of course, but
I think
you
we
know,
all
I yeah, and I've thought about like our channels and stuff, and I'm like, one thing and reason why I love doing these is because I like taking people's experiences and documenting that, like leaving some sort of legacy behind for them. Like,
have. And it's good to know that not all ghosts or spirits are malevolent. They're not out to get you. Most of them are just living on that plane. Some are going in
mhm,
between the in between and the other side, and just doing whatever work they are doing in the next phase of life. So
right, beautiful. Have you ever had any extraterrestrial or UFO experiences?
UFOs. I live in southern Idaho. We have UFOs all
Okay.
the time. But as far as actual like encounters with extraterrestrials, not in this lifetime. Other lifetimes, I have been the extraterrestrial. So I
Love
have,
it.
I don't know if you would actually count that as extraterrestrial, not if you're actually living on another planet. But
I
yeah,
would. That's
so.
like the ultimate plot twist. I love it.
So yeah, many lifetimes in many different places.
That is awesome. So, I know that you mentioned you do a lot of Reiki and healing, and you mentioned crystal Reiki and quantum energy work.
Yes.
Um, is something you've done for a while and kind of like one of your main areas since you do a lot of healing and stuff. Could you tell me a bit? I'm kind of
So
curious.
I started getting into energy work and tarot at like the same time, within a month or two of each other.
Wow.
And it was about roughly 7 years ago when I started getting into it. I was not in a good place personally. And yeah, it helped me out of that place, which is why I focus so much on healing, not only myself, but helping others heal from Lord knows what we go through. I mean, everybody's got something.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone has a story, so
mhm.
definitely. Wow. I think that's amazing. And to help others too with that. That's awesome. Um, what about an experience that you've had in the past that may have challenged you or changed your life for the better thus far?
So I will just delve into the story that brought me into this path altogether.
Okay.
I so after each of my kids, I have 4 kids, I would get a bout of depression.
Me
The
too.
baby blues, a lot of people get it. With each child, it got progressively worse. So after my third, I started seeking community. I At that time, I went to church. I was not finding community there. I had always been drawn to different paths, and I mean different, like everything. I love to learn about all the different worldly religions. And so I started finding witchcraft groups. They started popping up in my news feed in on Facebook. Facebook's just knows sometimes. And so I joined several of these groups and like, it's just really pulling me. It's just really pulling me. And so I got into one of those groups. I've made some really, really good friends from that group. My mentor that I started learning tarot from, um, when the baby blues didn't go away. 3 years later, I had another baby and it got life threatening. We'll put it that way. Um, and she's like, you need to start learning Reiki. She basically told me, go seek it out, learn Reiki. And so that's what I did. And it pulled me out of it. It just finally, I don't know, I was using essential oils, which I still use and love. I was using incense and herbs and crystals. I was already into crystals then. And those things helped, but they didn't actually cut through to what was really going on. So it was like putting a Band-Aid on it kind of thing.
Mm.
So yeah, once I started doing the energy work, it completely changed my life. Then I got told that, what I was doing was wrong. So I didn't go to church anymore.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing that. And I know how like sensitive that can be because I had postpartum psychosis with one of mine. I know the struggle doll.
And
But
it's like you know something's wrong, but you can't fix it.
right, right. Yeah, I actually went to my mom and said, something's wrong with me, and she told me, she was like, I think it's this. But I think it's beautiful that you found yourself through all of that,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
honestly, the postpartum depression kicked off my spiritual awakening. That's so through the depths of depression and despair, I found myself and was awakened to a whole new way of life.
That is beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Which I think I've seen a lot in the spiritual community comment. Like, not when I first started my channel, I was kind of going through a personal struggle with addiction,
Mhm.
trying to help with myself with that. And I did a ritual with Hecate to continue guiding my flame, the right way. And man, it was amazing. Ever since then, I just felt like I could conquer it. So I think it's
She is
health.
badass.
Oh, yes. I love her. She was like the first I worked with besides for Nyx. But
I think Nyx is kind of like the gateway goddess.
mm, probably. um, so can you share any past life stories regarding Soul Moon or any others you have uncovered thus far?
So Soul Moon, Kaya, is she's an angelic being. Okay, my higher self. That's her name is Kaya. And I say she in this particular moment. She is on the feminine side of the divide, but she does go back and forth between feminine and masculine. She is a twin soul with Orion, the hunter, Archangel Orion to be specific. She was me, obviously. In ancient Egypt, we were a high priestess, and yeah, oracle type. The seer,
Right,
the outlier from the community. You weren't really in it, but they always came to you for advice or whatnot.
right, right.
So my Egyptian lineage is there. The next most prevalent one in my memory is Druid time. Like I want to say it was somewhere in Europe. I want to say it was like Ireland area, Ireland, Scotland area, judging by the green and the weather kind of
Yeah,
that I remember. I was the old maid, never had kids, lived on the outskirts of the village, what now we would call a traditional hedge witch. I was the healer. I was who they came to when, they were sick. But it was during the hanging times. So I was hunted down because I was the healer and I was an unmarried woman. And I was hung. So
and what's interesting is both Ireland and Scotland have like their own like witch trial stuff. So wow,
yeah.
yeah.
So I've in fact, my Egyptian lifetime, I was murdered. My throat was slit. So I have always had throat chakra issues ever since I can remember. So I am constantly working on my throat chakra, always. Those are the two that I remember the most of. I do have lifetimes in Atlantis, and I've had Native American lifetimes, but I don't really remember as much of those.
Wow. That's so fascinating to me. Have you traveled to any neat place or plan to in the future? If so, where would you pick?
So the United States is full of neat places, and I have been to every state west of the Mississippi and a handful east of the Mississippi. So I have flown over the Grand Canyon. I have been to Yellowstone National Park multiple times. I've seen both oceans on either side of us. I've been to both Disney World and Disneyland. But personally, the mountains and the canyons and stuff are my personal favorites. I'm actually in June taking a trip to New Mexico with my dad. So we'll be driving through from Idaho to New Mexico. So all the way through Nevada. And where are we going? We're going to Los Alamos.
Okay.
So it's kind of a smaller town in the mountains. We're spreading my grandpa's ashes there. So that's their hometown. So hopefully we get to go through Pueblo country and see a little bit of that. I've got to go through some of the reservations down there before. And I actually have some turquoise jewelry from Indians on the reservations. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. But I love to travel. I dream of going to every continent except Antarctica. I could do without the cold. Yes. Before I am no longer on this planet, I would like to visit all the continents.
I agree. Although I want to know what they keep hidden up there. So I might one day attempt. Let's be real, I probably never will. But do you have specific psychic abilities or other types of senses that we haven't talked about yet?
So I can never remember which Claire is which, but I tend to know things when I shouldn't know them. I tend to hear things that aren't there. I tend to smell things. Like I'll get a waft. My grandpa was a smoker. And so every once in a while, I'll get a waft of cigarette smoke. And then I'm like, oh, it's just grandpa. And so it just, yeah.
It's the Claire sisters, they call it, I think. That's like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Clairsentience. Yeah, I can't remember the smell or taste one, but it sounds like you would have like quite a few.
Yeah, I've got like 3 or 4, but the most prevalent one is hearing and feeling. So those are the biggest. Wow. Especially when I'm reading tarot, it just like I just know things, and it just comes to me, and the words just flow out because it's not even me saying it. Really, it's just I'm channeling. And
that is awesome. Abby says, "Native people rule."
Yes. Yes.
If you could be any tarot archetype, who would you choose and why?
So I'm torn between 2. One of them is my actual birth card, and that's the Hermit. I love the Hermit. I see the Hermit as the guru, the teacher, not necessarily the old man who holds up in his cabin in the woods kind of hermit, but as the guide, the people that they look to you for advice kind of thing. But then I also love the High Priestess. I love that, she is powerful and she is confident in herself and, able to lead people into whatever situation it happens to be.
Those good choices. Yeah. This year, I think, is my Hermit year.
My Hermit year was a couple years ago. I did about 2 hermit years in a row. So,
Yeah, I'm like, well, nothing's really changed. Favorite TV show?
I don't really have one. I like all kinds of TV shows. I mean,
Okay.
pretty much anything. I love witchy shows, even if they're totally like way off from anything realistic, like Sabrina. We all know that is so not real, but I love it. It's fun. I love old shows like Little House on the Prairie. I love Little House on the Prairie. It was simpler times. They were happy, stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
honestly will watch anything. I love Walking Dead. I love vampire anything, movies, books, TV shows, all of it. Vampires, werewolves. So all the yeah,
Like supernatural, any type of
supernatural.
fantasy
Yeah,
genre.
love them.
That is awesome. If you could choose to live on any planet or star and be immune to any harmful atmosphere, which one would you choose?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'd have to go probably to the Orion star system, not necessarily one star in particular. I actually have freckles on my arm in the shape of Orion's belt.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's just kind of a tie. I've been there before, but it's one of those that even as a little kid, I would look up and there was Orion. And I've always been like, hi, brother. Always, every time. And before I even knew that Orion was my soulmate, my twin soul, whatever you want to call it. I just had a connection there. So
I love it. Oh, Lady Kipper says Draconius. Oh, here we go. Lost my place. Do you have a favorite philosophy or an idea from anyone in history that you particularly resonate with? Or a
not
quote?
really any one in particular. I see Jesus as an ascended master versus a deity in himself. I see him as the same level as Buddha, and I kind of take both of their teachings to heart. Basically, the center is all about love,
Right.
and that's really what I carry into everything. Is I do it with love, even if I even those bitchy moments, it's still out of love because sometimes you just need to before somebody will get it through their head.
That's true. Sometimes, because there's many types of love too, I feel, and sometimes tough love's needed.
It is.
Yep. What about favorite tarot and oracle deck?
Um, Currently, my favorite tarot deck is my Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot. And I just backed this one, the Oracle version of this on Kickstarter. She just closed it and like last week. And I am so excited to have it. I don't even have it in my possession, but the cards that I've seen are gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
So this is the tarot deck. And I use this one a lot on my channel. It's got sacred geometry in it, and the colors are just amazing.
It's different. I like
It's a mixed media version.
Was that Astro Sigil? Or I don't know. It looked interesting though.
This one?
Oh yeah. Is it? It's quite similar. Yeah.
So yeah, there's
Well, Astarte, really.
all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff in them, but they've got like zodiac symbols on them.
Oh, wow.
Some of them will have little sayings on them. But yeah, I love them, and I'm super excited for the Oracle deck to come. But other than that, Oracle decks, I have too many to choose a favorite. The one that I've been using a lot lately is my Threads of Fate Shadow Edition.
Ooh.
So these are gorgeous cards. They are all gold gilded.
Oh, I love it.
Front and back, and a matte gold gilding on the side.
Oh, I love that. Those are nice.
So I love the Threads of Fate, and these all have like kind of shadowy scapes on them.
I totally dig it. I love that. Oh my, I might have to get that.
So that one, I've been using it in my streams to bring in more of the shadow hunting aspect to try and transition to the more healing. So, but I've got so many that I think last count was like 23 Oracle decks and like 13 or 14 tarot decks. So I have quite a few.
Do you have the House of Night Oracle?
I sure do.
Me too. I love that. Did you end up trimming them? I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to because of the silver. Yes, gorgeous.
I have a hard time altering decks just because I like to keep them how the artist intended them to be. Yeah. So I would have to get a completely separate, like have 2 copies if I was going to alter one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm slightly obsessed with PC Cast.
Oh, I love her. Love her. Abby says, do you have the Animal Spirit Oracle? And your cards are stunning, she says.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this deck here, I think, is probably the one you're referring to, the Spirit Animal Oracle. This is actually my daughter's deck. I bought this for her. She's totally going to get embarrassed, but when she got her first period, I bought her this Oracle deck as a welcome to maidenhood gift, is what I called it.
I love that. That is awesome. Really, I love that.
So I do use it as well, but it is technically her deck.
And Lady Blindwolf mentions a Dark Mirror Oracle. Ooh, I love that show.
No, I have the Dark Mansion.
Ooh, I want that deck. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with that deck, and I need it.
I love it. It is gorgeous. And I have the matte black edition.
Wow.
I love the artwork. It's so Tim Burton.
I know. I'm like, oh. I have to get that. And Lady Kepper here says Odin and the 9 Realms Oracle. Okay, you know I'm going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, I need to look that one up. I love Odin. He's awesome.
Oh, yes. Oh, hi, Maria. Yeah, my notifications, guys, sorry. The last 2 I've done, for some reason, they're just not telling people, but I'm glad you all are here, though.
It's not just you. It's like everybody. They don't get the notification until like 3 days later.
Wow, yeah. Or I'll go into one and it'll like just have uploaded, but it'll be like streamed 7 days ago. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And well, we already started on the House of Night Oracle, but I know you mentioned your favorite book series is House of Night, which is one of mine too. So of course I wanted a chance to geek out with you and be like, so who's your favorite character in the story? And
I thought about that this morning after you gave me the questions. Like, I don't know. Because in some days, I really resonate with Zoe, and it's just like so frustrating sometimes that all this power is just laid on you and nobody else can do it. But then other times, it's like, I would have loved to have a BFF like Stevie Ray. In fact, my BFF when I was in high school was probably very similar to her because she was the bubbly, the social butterfly type, which is not me. I'm the, quiet loner type, not the everybody's best friend type. But then I also love, the struggle that some of the guys go through. So like Stark, I love the internal struggle that he's gone through. I think that's the growth that he's had in the series is just amazing. And then Refime, oh my gosh, he is just like, he had a complete 180 in his life. He was just doing what he was told. And then something new came along. And he's like, why am I doing this? And then he changed his complete life despite the fact that his father, the only parent he knew, was against it. So it's just, and then of course there's Nyx, and she's just awesome. So
yeah, I love Aphrodite.
yes.
That is my favorite character. At first I hated her. I'm like, you're so much like me in high school, only make you gothic and a loner, but your attitude, man, I had a horrible attitude.
She's such a bitch, but at the same time,
she's not wrong either.
She's not. But then she's also, she like, the bitchiness covers the fact that she really does love people and she really does care. She just doesn't want you to know she does.
I vibe. I love her. Well, thank you. Yes, I love that. I don't meet many people who have actually read that book series, so I get completely nerdy and excited when I'm like,
probably people over the age of 15 anyway.
Right. Yeah.
My 14-year-old daughter likes them too, so
that's awesome. Actually, I have all of them, but they're in New York, and I'm sad. But
I actually learned a lot about the craft and all the different elements and the different things. Grandma Redbird, oh my gosh, is a wealth of information.
I love her.
So but I started reading those when I was at the very beginning of my path, so I actually learned a lot from fiction. It was great. And I think that's why I love them so much, is because they just kind of helped me progress faster than I would have otherwise.
Oh, I love that. Love it. Is there a certain time period in history that you're drawn to more so than others?
Not that we haven't already discussed. So there's like bits and pieces of time that I really love. I love ancient Greece and Rome and all the Roman and the Greek pantheons. Personally, they're the exact same thing. They just have different names. But I don't know, they fascinate me. And the structures that they created during that time, the architecture, the artwork itself was just,
it was stunning.
Yeah.
I like their open sexuality, if I'm being honest. Like, that's what I loved about the Romans and like the Greeks.
Think of like Sparta. Okay, Sparta probably has to be my favorite Greek city because of the fact that men and women were equal, period. Now, their roles weren't the same, but the men respected the fact that the women kept the house and bore the children and did all that stuff, farmed the ground while they went out and fought. And they were like, yeah, our women are badass. What the fuck's your problem?
I love that.
And their women were badass. They didn't take any shit from anybody, no matter if they didn't, see women on the same level or not. But yeah, it was that's probably my favorite of all the Greek city states is Sparta.
Yeah, yeah. Probably if I had to pick out of Greece, it'd probably be mine too. But yeah, I'm just all about that Norse stuff, man. Something about me out there fighting alongside the men, wielding a sword, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could see it. um, so, do you have a challenge or a fear or something you want to work on and overcome before you depart from this life? Or a special goal or mission, really anything that
So my mission is really just to help as many people heal as possible. Um, because the more people I help heal, they help heal. So it's kind of a ripple effect type thing. I have like 3 different types of people that I like to work with. Emergency services, veterans, those types of people, because I have been one. They go through a lot of emotional stuff from their jobs. A lot of them
yeah.
suffer from PTSD, those kinds of things. So I love to work with those people and help them get functional again. I love to work with moms who, again, are going through, maybe they got the baby blues. Maybe they just want to tear their head out or their hair out because their kids won't clean up after themselves. Or mom cleans and 5 minutes later, it looks 10 times worse than it was, all of which I've experienced. So, there's that. And then the newly awakened, because a lot of times the newly awakened feel alone. They feel crazy. Nobody accepts them. Nobody understands what they're going through. And so those 3 people are the ones that I really enjoy connecting with and just helping them progress in their path, making sure, especially the PTSD survivors and the newly awakened, to make sure they get over the hump and they don't end their lives before it's time. Because I think a lot of people are lost. And yeah, they leave before their time is up because they don't have any other outlet.
Wow, I love that. Like I love what you're doing. Really, I have mad respect for that. Um, and neither did the Scots women. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. A lot of not
Yeah.
only feminists but white equality.
Yes.
Yes, all for equality. Um, and favorite types of rituals or ceremonies, or do you do rituals or ceremonies? Magic at all?
um, when I very first started down the witchy path, I would do the whole lay out the candles in the directions and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? It's all about intention. So I really don't do anything formal anymore. Mostly I do a lot of tea ceremony, and so I have my tea multiple times a day. When I first brew it, I'll sit down with it and do some breathing exercises, and I'll actually breathe love into my tea through, essentially it's Reiki. So you'll expand the love out your heart and into the tea that you're drinking. And it's a form of self-love, because then you are then intaking your own love back into your body, which again fills your cup even more so that you can give more to others.
Oh, I love that. That's freaking awesome. And yeah, being so in tune with energy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could cut out a lot and just use the energy visualization and
Yes. Now
intentions.
I
So
do love my candles, so I will totally get out the candles and the colors, but I won't do like this big huge circle or something. I'll get my plate and I'll put my candles on it and, just use them to accentuate what I'm already doing.
Yeah, works. Now it gets to where, besides like you're talking about, I don't really do them elaborate anymore unless I'm wanting to actually invoke something. But yeah, I love that. And what are your thoughts about dreams? Do you remember yours?
About half the time. So if I don't remember a dream, it's unimportant and it's just the brain healing. If I remember a dream, it's a message, a specific message for myself or for somebody else. I have had dreams where whatever guide is telling me, you need to go tell this person this. And so then I'll wake up and send them a text message or something like that. Be like, hey, by the way, you need to hear this. So, yeah.
And favorite teas, crystals, and plants.
Mm-hmm. Teas. Tea. Period. Pretty much. I am very partial to Club Magic Hour. So they are a spiritual tea company. They put out curated boxes every month. It's a loose leaf tea. She does amazing stuff with her teas.
Oh,
so they have everything from black to herbal and everything in between. Gorgeous teas, natively grown where they come from. They smell and taste superb. Probably the best I've had since Tivana went out of business. Well, they didn't get out of business. They were bought out by Starbucks, and I won't participate in Starbucks. But I love the mission of the company. She's, again, all about healing and self-love. And then the teas are just, there's so much love that goes into curating them that you can taste the love in the tea. It's amazing. But I will drink absolutely any tea.
I love that. And I think that's a thing too, because if you ever had someone moody, like a moody waitress, just plop your plate on the table and it don't really taste as nice, or I think that's a thing. I do.
It is. And that's why, grandma's dinners were always better than mom's dinners, because grandma put more love in it.
I agree.
As far as crystals, I love pretty much all crystals, but this one right here is my favorite in my collection. So this is a piece of fluorite, and she's got all kinds of things in her. So there's rainbows and there's different, all kinds of stuff in there.
That's really
we got a little fairy garden down here.
Oh, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. I love purple and green and blue and like all the colors of fluorite.
Wow.
So
I love how you can like shift it and it kind of just turns the colors.
It does. So many different colors in there. I mean, and it's super dark. A lot of fluorite, I have another piece right around here somewhere, is really light. So like this one, it's really light. It's still got all the colors in it, but it's nowhere near as dark as this one is.
I see.
But yeah, fluorite's one of my favorites. Amethyst in all of its forms. This is a chevron amethyst.
I have one like that.
Ametrine. That's this one here. And I've got more up here on my shelf behind me.
Oh, I do see them. Yep. I'm surprised I didn't notice. I'm usually way more nosy.
So I've got a carnelian flame right here in the middle. Over here is a moss agate. And you can barely see the one next to it. That's a natural citrine. It's this same size. And then there's a rose quartz, a big rose quartz right there. And then there's all kinds of little palm stones and such up there too.
Thank you. Is that a
But
sound
then we've
ball?
also got blue calcite
Oh,
and labradorite
I like that.
and mystic merlinite, which is technically indigo gabbro. That's the actual
Wow.
scientific name for it.
I want to get an obsidian skull. Like I want to get crystal skulls.
You want to see my obsidian? My husband brought it home for me. So we have obsidian mines here in Idaho. And so obsidian is just like really prevalent.
Yes,
So
love it.
I
have an idea for my familiars and servitors.
a baseball size piece of obsidian.
Do you get to like go to the mines? Like
I don't, but he does because he works on John Deere loaders. So if a loader breaks down at a mine, he gets to go to the mine. And he picked this up off the ground for me. I cleaned it up. It looked like just a clump of dirt, but he's also brought me home jasper. He's brought me home. I've got lots of slate. My husband, most girls get flowers. Yeah, I get rocks.
it's a big rock.
It is.
I love it. Oh, are we really on the last one already? I'm having too much fun. I love doing these. If you could scream one thing out to the world to hear and understand what it is you're trying to say, like what do you think you'd scream if you like just had the whole world's collective attention?
Show some fucking love.
Oh,
yeah. Because people just don't anymore. They really don't.
Things are changing. I think.
Yeah.
Just so much awakening and stuff. But well, does anybody have any questions for her that I have not asked? And her link is in the description. So if you're not subbed, head on over and show some love.
You can find me in all the places as Soul Moon's Rising.
At all the places. I love that.
I'm even on Reddit and I don't even know how to use it.
Me, I don't know how to use that either, but
yeah, I'm on Reddit, I'm on Clubhouse, I'm on Twitter, IG.
When you both will publish potions or recipes to make them.
I don't really have recipes. I go with what feels right in the moment. So I don't think I would ever publish anything.
Yeah, I have a few oils I shared in like a very old video, but potions I don't do so many.
Does dinner count?
Well, thank you guys all for coming, and thank you, Jenny Moons, and tea. Oh
yes, tea could absolutely be a potion.
I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
I don't make my own teas,
Right?
at least not yet.
Infusions, yeah.
But
yeah, I want one of those new infusion things. Have you seen them? Like you put the plant in and it'll like create the oil for you and stuff. I want one of them.
yeah, I think I've seen one. I don't know how I feel about that. I have my own lavender bush that I've grown from a seed out in my front yard, and I trim her every once in a while, and I actually sell the bundles of lavender at the witchy shops in town. So they do consignment stuff. So I'll go and, give them some bundles of lavender to sell. but I usually keep some for myself and make my own smudge sticks.
Love lavender. Love it. Here in Brazil, we use it a lot. Neat. Well, I guess we better wrap it up. And thank you guys so much for coming. And thank you, Jen.
Thank you. This was
really
fun.
enjoyed it. It was. It was. And till next time, guys. Love, peace, and chicken grease.